Hey, Tony guys is here. Now listen to me. Every man who see this going, you just over there pandering. That's all you do is pandering. You just pandering the women. Listen, if anybody take any time to watch any of my videos and actually go through my videos, they'll see very quickly that I do not pander. When a message is for women, it's for women. When a message is for men, it's for men. What I do is read and respond, meaning I read the room, I read what's going on in our world, meaning I'm in the trenches evaluating the data, and then that's what I'm addressing. And right now we have a very, very poor state of men. It is very sad hearing so many men, and not really so many, but the few that's out there that's just being loud. I've seen a few different interviews here over the last couple of weeks of men saying they either not gonna get a relationship, be in a relationship, men saying that they got two wives or they believe in two wives, men saying that they believe in having multiple children from multiple different women, and that they get it and realize that they can't be there for their kids. And it's just sad because that is being shared with the world, and it's going to be a large number of men who buy into that and believe that and assume that responsibility and say, yes, I get to do this. This is how we living. And it's just sad. And as men, we have to do better. Like, we have to really think about this thing logically as men, and forget that women are in the room. Forget that women in the comments. Forget that women amen and peanut gallery and jump on this here message. But also pay attention that if a woman is co-signing this type of message, it's for a reason. It's because she understands that we need unity and we need to be on one accord. We need to be together so that we can be strong. And we cannot be strong by keep just sowing our wild oats and then leaving the woman to fend for herself. And it's so many single mothers, and it's so many women that's bearing the brunt of a man's pain, of a man's trauma. And we going through this and we live in this. It's like, even I have to look and see my mama. I have to see my mama helping my sister who got 3 kids from raggedy men. And so now here my mama is. And can you imagine? She just one woman. Can you imagine how many women that should be in their golden age is stressed out because they got to play nanny and daycare to their daughter children because their daughter man is sorry. And as men, we got to stop looking at what's wrong with women, and we got to start looking at what's wrong with us. And we got to come to a place where we say, you know what, this is what I need to change. And we have to really evaluate this thing logically and really say, what is going to make sense and help my daughter? What is going to make sense and help my son? What are they going to be able to easily understand and digest? And whatever that is, that's what they need. And what they need is a 2-parent household. And they need where their mother is the only woman that a man that they daddy is sleeping with. That's what they need. Because that's going to teach them commitment. It's going to teach them loyalty. It's going to teach them responsibility. It's going to teach them sacrifice, discipline, self-control. And it's greater than all, it's going to teach them real love. But when they see that their mother is not good enough for their father, that's going to send a message that they may not be able to process. It's going to have daughters looking down on their mama. It's going to have sons looking down on their mama or looking down on the daddy. But what it's going to do, even though they may not like it and they may not admire that, they still so often become a product of that and end up doing the same thing because that's the only thing that they saw. And as men, we have so much control and we got so much say so, and there's so much better that we could be doing if we're willing to sacrifice, if we're willing to have some self-love, some discipline, some responsibility, if we're willing to put the mission and the movement before ourselves, if we're willing to stop being selfish and stop just operating from lust and stop chasing and seeking pleasure and stop operating from our insecurity. Stop operating from your insecurity. Stop letting your childhood or adulthood trauma dictate and control your life, and truly learn how to be a man, how to look at yourself and become 100% responsible for your life, to stop blaming and being angry with women, with your parents, with another race, with the government, and look at yourself and say, what do I need to do as a man to be responsible and to be a good, productive citizen? Stop believing the lies. We do not need men to spread themselves amongst multiple women. We do not need that. We are not in need of multiple children from multiple different women. We are no longer in need. We got more people than we need. We got people sleeping on the street. We do not need a man to be fruitful and replenish the earth with any more than his one wife that he is 100% faithful to. We do not need that. We do not need pornography. We do not need strip clubs. We do not need gambling. We do not need prostitution. We do not need the vanity and the vexational spirit that we are giving into. We do not need polygyny. We don't need that. We need men to be men. We need men to be responsible. We need men to stop being selfish, stop being greedy, and man up and be a real man. Be a real man. Because a real man values and cherishes the heart of a woman, because that is the gift that God has given us. A real man values and cherishes the heart of his children, because that is the gift that God has given us. So if you are sending damning and destructive messages to your woman and your children by your actions, you are not being a man. If you are just doing what you want to do without caring about what your woman wants and what your children want, you are not being a man. Because a man is a leader, and a leader is a servant. A leader dies out to self, and he puts the people before himself. So he puts a man who is the head of the household, puts his wife and his children and their needs before himself. He does what it takes so that they can have security and stability, not confusion and anxiety. And that is what a man being a man about town brings: confusion and anxiety, and also self-hate. You are destroying your family lineage, not building it. You are destroying your legacy, not building it. You are making it worse instead of making it better. And we have to realize and understand that I'm a man and that it's not easy. I understand. Don't you think I want to watch pornography? Don't you think I want to be cheating on my wife? Don't you think I want to do those things that seem pleasurable and fun and exhilarating and a thrill? Don't you think I want 2 wives? So that when one got a headache or a period on, the other one could serve me and do whatever for me? That sounds like a sweet deal. But I know it's not productive. I know it's not healthy. I know it's not advantageous to the mindset of my woman or of my children. I know it doesn't represent strength and stability. It represents weakness and selfishness and greed. When you really look at it, when you honest about it, like that's all I'm asking you as a man, is to be honest about the ramifications of your choices. To be honest. I'm turning the comments off because I don't want the women in the comments ruining the message. Yeah, tell them it. Yeah, that. Because all that's going to do to a man is stoke your anger, to make you mad, because it's going to be a bitter woman. It's going to be a hurt woman. It's going to be a woman who comes and takes out the anger she has for her ex-husband or her ex-boyfriend in the comments. Comments getting turned off. Comments getting turned off, and for that very reason. Because I need men who have stumbled upon this video to get the message without any interference. I need you to hear God today. I need you to hear your purpose today. We don't live in the Old Testament. So when you quote the Bible, quote the whole Bible. We live in the New Testament. Jesus is in the New Testament, and Jesus changed things. We are to be a man, a husband to one woman, not to multiple wives. You're not having multiple wives under Jesus. So if you believe in the Bible, Jesus is in the Holy Bible. Don't quote the Torah if you can't quote the Holy Bible, because the Torah come from the Holy Bible, meaning the Old Testament and them chapters. Quote the whole Bible and understand that the Bible also tells us to obey the laws of the land. And we live in a day and time where we're supposed to have one wife. And yes, there's different little states and there's different little laws, and polygyny is legal in certain places and all of this right here. But who is it benefiting other than a man's penis? Who is it benefiting? How is it benefiting a woman? She got a roof over her head. Okay, she can have that with one. She can have that being the only wife. My wife is the only wife. She got a roof over her head. But she got somebody to help. Got the other wife helping her take care of her kids. They jealous of each other. They fight. They upset because one of them get more attention. One of them get the sex louder. That is not beneficial. The kids is confused. Why I got two mamas in here, Daddy? Why my mom is your wife and you got another wife? And why that wife kid get this and I don't get that? Or why we get the same thing, but why we don't have the same mama? Why you need two women or three women? Mama ain't enough for you? Mama ain't good enough for you? You need multiple? Why are we a minority? Why you got daddy? Why you got multiple baby mamas? And all my friends, daddy got one baby mama. Like, we got to be real about this. And we need to be able to say as men, hey, that's my past. It's not my present. That's the stunt I did in my past. I've grown, I've changed as a man. We need to get to that place where we can tell our kids, that's my past. That temper, those bad choices, that selfishness, that insecurity, that irresponsibility, that is my past. That's what we need to be able to tell our children. And at the end of the day, we're going to have to answer to God. Stop believing these false lies of, oh, we were kings. No, we were not kings. Because if we was kings, we would still be in Africa. We would still be in Africa living royally. We are in America because our ancestors were sold as slaves. Unless you African and you came over here as an adult or as a child on your own free will with your parents, or you came as an adult for college or on your own free will to work or college or whatever it may be. Other than that, if you're a black American man, which is largely who the problem is with black American, we come from slavery. So stop hollering about this king mess and all of that right there and trying to justify your insecurity and the reason you want multiple women because we was king, because we was not kings. And in the time and the age of kings, even the kings, they needed to have multiple women because they need to have multiple kids. They was replenishing the earth. And that's what it was about. There was a God on earth. That is not our case. That's not our life. You're not wealthy. You're not a trillionaire. Kings was trillionaires. Kings was billionaires. You're not a billionaire. You're not a trillionaire. You might not even be a real millionaire. Might not even be 100,000-aire. Stop hollering about you need multiple women. That is asinine and absurd. It is ignorant and it's weak. And we need to grow up and we need to be responsible because our counterparts are getting ahead even further. Because when you look at the white man, when you look at the Asian man, when you look at the Hispanic man, they got one woman. They got one woman. And they loving that woman and they having kids with that woman and they in the household. I drive down the street And these white men be in the street. As soon as they get off work, they be in the street playing baseball with their son. They be playing out there with their son every day. They got their wife in the house. They ain't got two wives in there. They got one wife in there. They got their kids there. They providing for their family. They taking care of their kids. They the baseball coach. They the flag football coach. They the soccer coach. They understand stability. They understand responsibility. They got a dang-a-lang just like black men. And guess what? All the rumors about the old black men sexual prowess and we hung like horses and all that, that's all just myths and lies. It's all across the board. They done did studies on that. Listen to me. Them white men, they want just as much sex as a black man. They want just as many women as a black man, but they understand it's not advantageous. They understand it's not productive. They understand that's not moving the story forward. So they have to sacrifice. They got to do without. They might have their little secret stuff going on in the closet and on their phone and whatnot, and they in their home and need to work on that too. Listen, we need to pursue perfection as men and stop making excuses for our mediocrity. We have to be better as men. We gotta be better as men. And what I'm finna do, I might spend $1,000 a month. And anybody you hear and you want to support this message, I'm gonna boost this as a on YouTube as an advertisement. Men got to hear this. We got to do better. We got to change our legacy. We got to change our lineage, and we got to be responsible. We got to do the right thing. We have to wake up. We have to grow. We have to change. We got to stop operating from pain and trauma and insecurity and ego and selfishness. We have to grow or we will die out. We will be extinct. Our whole legacy, our whole lineage will be ruined. We got to stop arguing from ego, and we got to make sense. Make it make sense. Because it's not going to make sense to your son and your daughter when they see that you're not taking care of them in the home emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and not just financially. When they see you can't be at their game, you can't be at their recital because you got too many women with too many kids and you keep having them, and it's not your past, it's your present. It does not make sense. It is not beneficial. It is not advantageous. It is not moving the story forward. It is ruining us from the inside out, and it is a trick of Satan himself. And we have to realize that. We got to do better. This ain't about no money. This ain't about no pandering. This ain't about none of that. This is about the reality that we are facing. And we are trash right now. And we got to be better. You got to want more for your last name. You got to want more for your family lineage, for your heritage, for your culture. You have got to want more than to just keep operating from your childhood pain and your ego and your insecurity. We all got a ding-a-ling. We all want sex with multiple women. We all want multiple wives. We all know that. We all know the tick and the feeling that we have, but you cannot give in to everything that you feel. There's a lot of men I want to take their life, but that'll put me in prison. There's a lot of men that done cross me. I want to knock every tooth out his mouth, but that'll put me in prison. That's not advantageous for my children. It's a lot of things I want to do. I want to drive 100 miles an hour, but I'm going to end up dead. I want to rob a store when I need some money versus working and making the money, but I end up in prison. It's a lot of things that we think about doing or that we want to do that we cannot or should not do. So just because you got a ding-a-ling in your pants, and just because it's 2 or 3 women that's willing to have your children, or 8 women, does not mean you should do it just because you can. Because not everything that you can do should be done. And you got to realize and understand that. We got to do better. If you're a man who you get this message and you understand it, send it to your group chat. Send it to your homeboys. And stop worrying about the likes and the praise of men. Stop worrying about the likes and the praise of women. Stop worrying about your bromance. And hold your brothers accountable. If you're a woman, send this to every male in your phone. Exes, nexus, current, last, old, brother, sister, uncle, cousin, granddaddy, nephew, everybody. As men, we got to grow, we got to change, If it's meant to be, it's up to me. That has to be your mindset. It's on us. Stop waiting on a woman to change. Stop blaming a woman. Stop pointing the finger at the woman, and look yourself in the mirror as a man and grow up and do what God put you here to do. Hey, this Tony Gaskins. God bless you, y'all. I'm serious about this thing. This thing on my heart. This thing heavy on my heart. I'm serious about this thing. Hey, we got to do better. If you got a platform, if you over 200,000 subscribers or followers, call me on there, because you done some work, and your audience need to hear this message. Because if God ain't give it to you to lay it out like this, then let me come on there and lay it out for you. God bless you. We'll talk soon.